Good morning, everyone. I'm here to present to you pictures and some words from my trip that I took the end of March with a group called World Gospel Outreach to Tegucigalpa, Honduras. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for their support, financial support, and their prayer support. I really felt it, and we really felt it as a group while we were down there. Before I went, I stopped a number of times and asked you to pray for us because I found out different things about the trip before I went. First thing I found out was that I was flying in and out of the world's second most dangerous airport. And I said, okay. And then I found out that Honduras has the world's highest per capita murder rate. And said, that's interesting. And then I found out after that we were going to have armed guards at every brigade. Said, that's new. Armed guards at where we were staying. Thought, okay, well, God's calling me, and I even had people tell me after I found all this out that I had to be just downright crazy to do this. But you know, when God's calling you to do something that He's going to protect you, and He has reasons for you to going, and you just go with faith and know it's going to be okay. And so back with your prayers, off we went. And I do want to tell you that your prayers are really felt Tuesday afternoon because we did have violence where we were working. Two women who got inside the church in line decided that they were going to have an argument over their place in line and started beating each other over the head with rocks. Baseball on the forehead and some cuts and stitches later. The police were there and took them both off to be arraigned, and we had a lot of police there, but they kept everything under control and kept the whole neighborhood from coming in and having a gang fight when it was done. They knew how to control it. And it only happens once or twice a year, but of course we were the first for the year. But God was in control of everything. We were dubbed the 12 women disciples. There were only 12 women on this team. It was one of the smallest groups, or the smallest group they ever had to go out. But like I said, your prayers were with us. They believed that we set a record for the number of people that we saw for the week. Between the medical groups and children's ministry, we saw 2,931 people in 4 days. Normally, when I'm in a medical team in other places, we see 800. That's a lot more people. But the good news about it was there was a big focus on evangelism, and during the week, 116 people accepted Christ, and another 116 recommitted their lives to Christ. So that's the whole focus of the trip when all's said and done, and we were just very thankful that all these people were brought to Jesus. For 4 days, 2 days at two different churches, we ran medical, dental, optical clinics. We had the evangelism group, and there was also a children's ministry. We also installed a concrete floor in a house, and we had funds left over after all that to provide surgeries about a month later for 5 individuals. There was an eye surgery group coming down, and for $50 a piece, we were able to provide surgeries for these people and make corrections. So I'll take you to pictures now. There's a map up. You can see Honduras and Tegucigalpa kind of lower in the middle, which is the capital, along with its twin city, Comayagüela. It is in a basin surrounded by mountains. And I told you about the flight, so I tried to take a few going in. And everything is close. It's sitting like right in the city, so everything's close. It's not like a wide open area like Philadelphia. You fly in and you see the buildings nearby. And this is taxiing back. That's the street. It's probably from here to Keene Road. That's about how much room's around it. This is from the inside when you arrive at the mission house. This is our armed guard and the guard dog, Pogo. And the mission house where we stayed. Absolutely beautiful place up on the mountain. Very scenic views. I ended up right off the bat, I said this is a picture for Ted. I ended up the team bongo player for devotions and worship. This is on Sunday. We were up on a park on the opposite side of the basin from where we were staying, and just to show you the views looking down. And we had vendors out and selling the wares. The baskets that you see, they're all handmade. They're made out of pine needles. And in the afternoon, we were at a Honduran restaurant and got to hear I about 6 times at least. In the afternoon, our job was to prepare for the medical clinics. We were short for that week on multivitamins and naproxen, so we spent about 3 hours counting and bagging pills. And the church donated money toward the medical supplies. The thing that they were out of and in desperate need of was computer labels, which was the primary purchase from the church money because I knew they were out. So you can see what your labels were used for there, along with some plastic bags that were taken. And there's the group ready to go out Monday morning. Show you some of the traffic in the city. It's just bumper to bumper and very tight. Some of the things we'd see on our rides in the morning. This is the National Catholic Cathedral for the country. This is the side of the U.S. Embassy, and if you look down the front, you'll see a very long line going around the corner. This was at 7:30 in the morning. The embassy opens at 8 o'clock, and these people are all getting in line waiting to apply for visas. And down the street, we would go past a public hospital, and again, you see a line. These people are all waiting, trying to get in to see a doctor for medical care. And with FIFA going on, you've seen a lot of soccer right now. This is Honduras National Soccer Stadium. It sits in the middle of a big picture, New Jersey traffic circle with a soccer stadium in the middle. This is when we arrived on Monday morning at our first church. These are all people waiting to go into the clinic. And we had to back the bus up to unload and move the line over and get it straightened out so we could get down there and get all the equipment off. Inside the church, this is the pharmacy area. This is the medical team going in a line down the left. One of the Honduran dentists with one of our team assisting. And my job on Monday was optical. So they had a refractor, and I got to sharpen up my video game skills very quickly. The glasses out available. They would get sunglasses, reading glasses if they had a lower prescription need, and if they needed stronger prescriptions. We had glasses, and 70 pairs of the glasses came from our church that went down. And my last patient of the day with her new glasses. This is at the back of the church. After they went through the medical, this is where they would go for evangelism. And at the end of the 2 days, there would be a formal presentation from the group to, happens to be the pastor's wife of the church, where the information, personal information of all the people who made decisions for Christ was turned over to the church for follow-up visitation. On Wednesday, we had a free day while they restocked the medical supplies for the next church. Honduras has a Jesus statue that's similar to the one in Brazil, so we got to go to the park and see that. And it's at the top of the mountain on the other side from where we stayed, so it's a great overlook. There you can see the stadium from the top, and there's the strip with an airplane. An airplane had to be landing when we were up there, and we got it. But you can see as you come through in the back and turn, and you go over that mountain behind it and drop coming in. And there's a view across the basin to the other side. And in the afternoon, we got to go out to a village to do some craft shopping. This was one of the little taxis to take you around in the village out there. Thursday morning, again, the line, the line went around 3 sides of the block. This is the third side in the back, down the length of the second side, and we walked around to the front side then, and this is going into the church. Most of the people would be out starting at like 4:35 in the morning to be getting in line for these. But Thursday, I wasn't in the church. I had a 3-block walk because I was assigned, or I should say I volunteered with a young girl on the team to do a cement floor. This is the house we were working at, and the little neighbor girl who kept peeking out to see what was happening. And this is before we started, the team leader, and the guy in the center's name is Rhonda. It was his house. He has a degenerative neuromuscular condition where he's starting to drag his leg. So having all these rocks sticking out of his mud floor is not a good thing for his safety. So he was the one that was selected by the church to get the floor. Now, you just don't pour cement off a truck down there. You went in and there's a pile of stone and a pile of sand and 50-gallon drums of water and bags, and you shovel it into 5-gallon buckets, pile it up, mix it, make a hole, pour the water in the center, mix it in with the water, shovel it into place, and then you get to level it off. So this floor for this house, which would look rather small here to ones who do contracting, it was an all-day affair. And Thursday they went back to take a picture of it. It was already dry enough for the kids to be on. I guess it was his nieces and nephews were in playing on it. Friday I was in pharmacy, so I wanted to show you a view of the church in full-blown action. This is what it looks like all day. And I got outside to take some pictures of the children's ministry. The one thing they do is hair washing. They check for lice, and if they have lice, they get treated for the lice. And then they'll braid their hair and pretty them up. The boys like to get their hair spiked with gel, look all handsome. And while they're waiting, they're here in children's ministry, hearing the gospel and learning songs and playing some games. At the end, again, we handed off the papers, and we also had a special prayer for Rhonda, and I was privileged to get to do that. This was our little girl down the street from the mission house who greeted our bus every time she heard it going out and back. And Saturday morning, we were looking for her for our last goodbye. She'd always come out and put her hands up and like this, bye, bye. So Saturday morning, that was our final goodbye. So goodbye from Honduras.